Hello, fellow commanders, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous Return from Beagle Point. Today's topic of discussion will be Drizzle system, and because it's just too funny for me to not talk about. We'll get into that in just a minute. But before we do, I want to welcome all the new players. The reason why we're doing this journey is to work on our exobiology rank, as well as hopefully make enough money to buy a fleet carrier and head out into the black with all of our ships and have fun and maybe take a few people along with us. We do have a sequence of operations that we typically get to, but I would like to ask at the very beginning of this video, because I tend to forget sometimes, we are running a GoFundMe campaign for our mother-in-law's car that got totaled by a hit and run. She had liability-only insurance, so there is no insurance coming to the rescue, and you know, none of us can help her with a loan or anything like that. So we really just need to find a cheap car that we can get her, that can get her back on the road. There is a GoFundMe link down in the description of the video, I think, and also I'll leave a comment that has the link. If you want to do a good deed, help somebody get back on the road, get back to where they can get to their work without having to, you know, figure it out the hard way, that would be really appreciated. Every little bit helps, and so, you know, even a couple of bucks, if enough people do that, that'll add up to a car and we can get her back on the road. So be sure to click that link if you're interested in helping out with that. It's greatly appreciated. So what we typically do is we'll go ahead and hop into a new system, then we'll pop the discovery scanner to see how many bodies are in the system, do a fuel scooping operation, then after that we'll hop into the full spectrum system scanner, check to see if there are any high value planets, which for the purposes of my arbitrary decision making is an Earth-like world, a water world, or an ammonia world. Those are the three highest value planets to just do planetary scans of, so that's what we're going to be doing. And then after that, if there are 15-ish or less bodies in the system, we'll go ahead and do a full-on scan of each individual body to see if there is any biology available there. So we'll go ahead and start going through that for this system. We see 20 bodies. We'll do our fuel scooping. The 15 body limit is you know, an arbitrary limit, so it's subject to change depending on how I feel. Since we're at the very beginning of the episode, I figured we'll go ahead and just do it now. We'll go ahead and just do that. So, okay, so the topic of discussion for today is something I never heard of before today. Actually, never heard of until right before I started making this video. Apparently, there's something going around the internet called Drizzle, which apparently is a response to some female thing talking about, I don't know. I haven't done any research on it. I watched an Abra and Preach video where they were talking about it, and man, it was just, the whole concept is just hilarious to me. So apparently, guys are getting to the point now where they want to be like women used to be and have like dates and all that stuff paid for, because they're doing some, I don't know all the terminology. It's called soft boy something or other. I'm not going to pretend like I'm up to date on any of this stuff. I don't know what's going on. All I know is I watched the video and I thought it was hilarious, because you have these guys getting on talking about how they're basically behaving the way that a lot of women have behaved over the years, where, you know, women expect to have the date paid for, and you know, I spent all this money getting ready to look pretty and blah blah blah, all this other stuff, and you know, so it's your responsibility to take care of the expenses of the date. And I mean, I think most reasonable people will hear something like that and kind of furrow their brow in confusion, because it's like, yeah, but that's something that you did because you wanted to do that, because you have vanity and want to appear that way. So, you know, you do that because you want to make yourself feel good, not because you really care about the guy. But anyways, I know I don't typically talk about controversial subjects, because I don't want to start an argument, and I don't want to get dragged into you know, protracted discussions about topics that nobody's going to change their mind about. And the only reason I bring this one up is just because I found it so humorous that I couldn't help but bring it up in a video, because it's like part of me feels like it's you get what you ask for. You know, I'm perfectly fine with women wanting equal rights and having equal opportunities and doing all of these things that they want to do. I believe in that stuff, truly do. But at the same time, you have to accept the consequences that come with deciding to go that direction. If you want to have equal opportunity and equal access and equal, you know, equality in all things, well, then that means you get equality in all things, and that means you are equally responsible for helping to pay for dates and all of that kind of stuff. And it's unreasonable to make a man feel, if that's what you believe in, it's unreasonable to make a man feel uncomfortable and feel like he is responsible for covering things like that when, you know, women in general have either actively pushed for, oh, here we go, biology, and it's only 1905 away, so we're definitely gonna go for that. Have either actively pushed for all of these changes in the male to female relationship. Man, there's a lot of, all right, we're gonna be in this system for the rest of this episode and probably the next one. Have been actively pushing for this stuff, or at the very least have not really done any kind of serious pushback against these things if they truly wanted things to stay a traditional way. So, you know, it's hard to have sympathy for a lot of these women who say, you know, they want to have their cake and they eat it too. They want to have access to opportunities and have equality of outcome, but then they don't want to have any of the crap that comes with all of those responsibilities that we all have to have if we're gonna have access to that opportunity. So, you know, it feels like I'm not trying to be spiteful when I say this. Like, I don't mean it that way. I just mean, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. You know what I mean? I can't help but think it's funny that, you know, men are doing this. A lot of men are doing this now. Now, I think, like, you watch the videos of the guys that were doing it, and it comes off as more of a joke than anything else. I don't know how serious they were. But, you know, even if they are serious, it's like, well, you know, you guys, you want things to be a certain way. And men, by and large, have said, yeah, no problem. That's fine. We're totally fine with that. You want to have equality, and you want to make things as equal as possible, and you want to step into masculine roles and do masculine things. And, you know, that's totally fine. No reasonable man is going to have a problem with you wanting to try to do those things. But you don't get to get out of the consequences of what happens when you try to do those things. And one of the consequences of wanting to make women more masculine is that men have a right to decide, you know what, I'm going to try to go down this feminine path because, you know, why? So you get to have all of these cool benefits and things that come from the, you know, what traditionally has been a more masculine aspect of society. But then you don't have to put up with the cost that comes with that in the form of, you know, hey, at least helping to pay for the date, if not paying for the date completely. I don't think it's unfair, you know, if we as a society are going to say that women are the same as men, and women have the same expectations as men, and the same rights and opportunities, and all, you know, just you see what I'm getting at. It's like, I know there's going to be obstinate people or obtuse people who just disagree because they have their one viewpoint on the subject and they can't get past that. But when you really think about it, it's kind of hard to not be like, well, yeah, if you want to have the same thing as another group of people, then you have to put up with the other stuff that comes with that. Nobody in this world. Oh wait, I don't know why I did that. I was in six probe mode because I was too busy talking. That's all right. It's not going to be that big of a deal. All right. So we got Fungoida, Osseous, and Tussock. Everything else is all over the planet. So we'll set up the Fungoida, and then try to find something. We'll try to land near the edge of a Fungoida to see if maybe we can find some of the other stuff. Let me slow down there. So yeah. Anyways, the Drizzle thing. I think that might have been the part of it that just made me laugh really hard the whole time. It's just because at the end of every comment that somebody would leave, or in the middle of every video, they just kept saying Drizzle, and the Abba and Preach were laughing about it, and you couldn't help but laugh when you heard it because it sounds so ridiculous. I don't think the concept itself is necessarily ridiculous if you peel back all the layers and you think about it. You know, this is what women say that they wanted. They say that they want equality, and then they get equality, and men start acting in a way where you know, if everything is equal, then it's fair, and then they get mad about it. And it's like, well, what did you think was going to happen when you decided to, you know, try try to shift your role away from the vulnerable side of the species that needed protection and needed, you know, a masculine person to come in and provide for you. Like, you didn't want that. You wanted to have the male aspect of everything while still keeping your female side of things. And it's like, well, I'm sorry, that's not really fair. It's really not fair. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Now, that's not to say that, you know, like, the problem with topics like these, and the reason why I typically don't talk about it, is because they're such sensitive third rail topics that it's very difficult for a lot of people to have a genuine discussion about it. There are people who, if they come across this video and hear what I have to say about the subject, they're going to think that I hate women, or that I'm attacking women, or I'm this, or I'm that. And it's like, yeah, no, I truly believe that if you want equality, then you have to deal with the consequences that come with equality. It's just the way that it is, and it's the way that it should be. If you want the benefits that come from certain things, then you also have to take the trade-offs that come with those things. There is no perfect situation, and it's not fair for any person to have to only get the good stuff and never have to put up with the bad stuff. And part of the bad stuff of, you know, the expectation not being that you are a vulnerable female who needs a male protector and provider is that you have to be the provider and sometimes the protector. And, you know, we have this society that tells us that we want everybody to be what they want to be. There's no expectations anymore. You can be whatever you want to be, however you want to be, and that's okay. And then people start acting that out, and all of a sudden it's a problem. And it's like, well, no, that's what we said we wanted. We want everybody to be what they want to be. So, you know, be what you want to be. And the rest of us, have to deal with that. Otherwise, we need to change what our society is saying. I'm just, you know, I don't know what else to tell you about that other than, you know, suck it up, Buttercup. This is what you asked for. And if you didn't specifically ask for it, you didn't make enough of an opposition about it to prevent it from happening. So, you know, sorry, ladies, this is the way that it is now. Now, me personally, I don't necessarily. I'm more of a traditionalist kind of person. If I'm gonna, like, I'm married, so I don't. Obviously, that's like, dating is not something I have to worry about anymore. But, you know, anytime I've ever taken a woman out on a date, and, you know, if I was ever in that position again, I would follow the, you know, more traditional path of, you know, I'm the man, I take the woman out on the date, and I invite her on a date and all that stuff. You know, I'm paying for the date, and that's the way that it is. But, you know, at the same time, I'm progressive enough to say, you know, this is what has been asked for, and now you're getting what you asked for. So, even though I wouldn't necessarily follow this path or do anything, do that kind of a thing. I'm not going to walk around telling other men that they should be doing it that way, because this is the way society has been trying to go. This is the way women have been trying to push society. And, you know, that's what happens. And, you know, in my heart of hearts, I truly believe that the vast majority of women don't want this. They don't want this feminist thing that's happening. They either don't care, or they actively would prefer to leave things the way that they are, because, you know, as much as people are trying to convince us that men and women are the same, we're not. We're just not. If you look at the average man and you look at the average woman, they want different things. That's not a bad thing. That's just the way that it is. Okay, we got our data there. They want different things. That doesn't make a woman less than a man because she wants different things than what a man does. It just means that we're different. It's just we're constructed a different way. We've evolved to become different things. We've evolved to fill different roles in the way that our species works, and, you know, that's not a bad thing. It's really not. So, you know, and I truly believe that. And I take this attitude because I understand the idea that the vast majority of people in general do not actually believe in a lot of the crazy stuff that we see these days. They don't believe in any of this crap. They just put up with it because a very loud minority of people make it seem like it's what the average person believes, and everybody's too afraid to say anything about it. And, you know, we all get stuck with this weird stuff that makes us uncomfortable because we've been made to believe that the extremes of our society are actually normal, when it's not. It's really not. And I believe it's the same thing with this particular situation. I think that the average woman just wants the traditional relationship with a man, and they want it to be that. They want it to be the way that it's always been, because, you know, we've evolved to be like that. And there's nothing wrong with wanting that, and there's also nothing wrong with being a woman and wanting to have a more masculine role in society. All I'm saying is that when you do that, there's consequences. You know, it's not and I don't mean that to mean like there's a punishment. It just means that, you know, everything that we do has a consequence. Every action you take has some kind of thing that happens as a result of whatever it is that you're doing. And in this case, men are starting to say, okay, fine, you guys want to have this masculine role in society, so I'm going to move on to see if that's what you want. Why can't I move towards a more feminine role? I don't think that's an unreasonable argument, personally. But it's hard to talk about these things because, you know, no matter what you say, and no matter how fair you try to make your point of view, there's always going to be somebody who has something to say about, you know, you hate this or you hate that, or you're trying to oppress this, or you're trying to whatever. And it's like, you know, you can't fight against that. I already know. I'm already relatively sure. I'm looking for the osseous now. I think the osseous is those spiral-shaped thingies, but I haven't. I thought I saw one at some point, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure where I saw it. So we'll fly around. Whoop. So I saw something that looked vaguely spiral-shaped. Those are just rocks. I thought I saw something vaguely spiral-shaped over here, but I guess not. Nope, just bacteria. We'll go over towards the edge of this crater. That's the problem with trying to have any kind of discussion about any of this stuff, is that the moment you open that door, you're going to get people who are either highly emotionally charged and incapable of having a rational discussion, or you're going to get people with dishonest intentions who are so ideologically driven by whatever point of view they've been indoctrinated into that they're going to go out of their way to try to move the conversation to make you look like a jerk because you don't agree with their point of view. Which is why I don't typically talk about those things in these games. But like I said, the topic was just too funny for me not to cover, because, I mean, seriously, Drizzle. I don't even know what to, there's no response to that. There's nothing you can say after somebody ends their peremptory statement with drizzle. Like, you can't. You can't come back from that. You can't. There's nothing you can say. And I couldn't help it. I thought it was funny, and I figured I'd cover it here in this video. Partially because, you know, I'm going into my weekend and I have to do 2 more of these before I'm done, because yeah, my viewership numbers and especially my recently obtained monetary numbers have gone down the toilet. Have gone down the toilet since I tried doing that new format, and now I have to do a bunch of videos to catch back up to where I was. So hopefully it picks back up. I got to get the algorithm to stop ignoring me, because I feel like as soon as I tried to do that, it was like, all right, so you're done? Cool. I think this might be Fungoida, but huh? Oh, nope. I can land there. Yes. There we go. All right, we'll try to find some more Fungoida then. I haven't seen any osseous, but worst comes to worst, we can go in the next episode and try to... Well, I mean, there's 3 other planets There were 3 other planets, I think. Or there was one other planet that had like 3 biology, and then I think there might have been another 4. I don't remember. We can check the map on the next episode, because I'm going to be doing 3 episodes back to back. So let's see if we can find a couple more fungoida. Preferably in a place where we can actually land. And then we'll move on. So I realize that me talking about this subject has now opened me up to people complaining about whatever. Whatever. There's nothing I can do about it. I really wish I could. I'd be more willing to talk about this stuff if I could get some kind. Oh. I'd be more willing to talk about this stuff if they had the ability to turn off notifications from specific videos. Because then I could, you know, if I end up covering a topic that is going to, anger people, I could turn the notification. I don't want to turn comments off. I want to leave the obviously for selfish reasons. I want to leave the engagement option there so that people are interacting with the channel. And it's telling the algorithm that people are paying attention. So obviously there's a selfish component there. But then there's also the fact that, I do believe that I don't believe in censorship. I believe that people should be able to say what they want to say. And that reminds me of a comment that somebody says about how I was being hypocritical because I said I believe in censorship, but then I don't want to be exposed to people's negative comments. And it's like, that's not necessary. I don't think that's hypocritical. I mean, I don't think anybody wants to be exposed to other people's negative comments, and it's not censorship to want to find ways to shield yourself from what people are saying, especially if it's negative. And my rebuttal to that is also it's a point I've made before of just because you can do something and just because I believe that you should be able to do something, you should be allowed to do something, doesn't mean that I think that you should do it. There's a lot of freedoms that we have that I believe you should be free to do those things, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you should do them just because you can. There's a lot of situations in the world. There's a lot of situations in our lives, in the world, and a lot of different things where, we can do this and we can do that, but is it reasonable to do that? And in many cases, the answer to that question is no. So you can go out of your way to make attacking comments towards people. You're free to do that, and I believe you should be free to do that. But I'm still going to think you're a jackass for doing it because, really, seriously, what you think you're going to change somebody's mind by attacking them? Like, that's really stupid. So I know I've opened myself up anytime I make a video like this, I'm opening myself up to people who get off on, either trying to make somebody feel stupid or just trying to get on somebody's nerves or whatever like that. I'm not gonna tell people. I'm not gonna force people from being able to say what they want, and the video will eventually blow over. I don't really, deep down, I really don't care what people think, and if you have a problem with something that I say or an opinion that I have or whatever like that, I'm not gonna really lose any sleep at night because you don't like what I had to say. I just wish that there was a way to, I wish there was a way to turn it off because it's annoying, and it's we all have this, intellectually I cannot care about something and I can just let it go, but at the same time it's like the primal part of your brain just has this need to fight with people, especially when they disagree with something that you say, and especially when they come at you in an attacking manner. And that's not something that's easy to turn off. You can, and I do, but it's I'd rather just not have to deal with it in the first place if I could figure it out. So YouTube, please provide a way to turn off notifications for specific videos so that I can still comment to all of my viewers, but if I have a controversial one, I don't have to get all the vitriol. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and call that an episode. Hopefully you guys had lots of fun. Be sure to click that like button if you did so that the YouTube algorithm will know and send the video out to as many people as possible. If you're not a subscriber, please consider doing so now so that when the next video comes out, it will show up in your feed and you will be able to watch it as soon as it becomes available. Channel members do get early access to all of my content, so be sure to click that join button, check out the list of options available there, and decide if any of those are right for you. If you're not interested in a continuing recurring membership, you can leave YouTube's version of a tip tip with that thanks button if you would like to still contribute to the channel in some way. Direct contributions are greatly appreciated and a critical component to helping to turn this channel into a full-time gig, which is the dream. So again, thank you. Oh, and also just one more reminder about the GoFundMe for our mother-in-law's car. It would be really great if we could get her into a cheapy car so that she can go back to doing her routine the way that she needs to do it. So again, thank you very much for your time. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Be sure to come back for the next one, and I'll see you then.